hello, Internet. Welcome to Shenanigoons, the Book of Fables. I am your DM, Angela, and these are our players. Hello, players.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi.
And we would like to welcome you to our chaotic little show, where you, as the audience, can also contribute to the chaos. I am cleaning my glasses so that I can see, not that I'm looking at you. But that's fine. It is January 5th. Happy New Year, everybody. And with the new year comes the same story we've been telling for several weeks now. We are in chapter 11 of the Book of Fables. This episode is titled On the Road Again, where we will be having our heroes continue their journey across their world, which I have named TBD. And as they re-explore the home they left behind when they were first sucked into the Book of Fables as children, and now with mere days passed in the material world, they have returned as adults and now are kind of taking stock of their lives. It's very much a It's a Wonderful Life sort of thing. Not at all.
Angela, just
Yes.
because Harland is a furbolg and has cow-like features is not a good enough reason to use the word livestock.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I missed it, so it's I won't say it's fine, but I don't take no offense.
Every time you roll on the wheel of causality, a Harland gets his wings.
God.
Yes.
Well,
Speaking of, in this most perfect of segues I created myself, as I said, you can contribute to the chaos here on Shenanigoons, and the way you do that is by tipping the show. We have a number of cow tipping? Are you making a cow tipping joke in your head? Okay, yeah. So you do not tip Harland, though there are plenty who would. We have a number of tip levels here at on our Streamlabs page, which you can find underneath the stream or with a link. I think it's tip is the command code. I'll do it. Yeah, no, that it's fine. Go check out the tip this show button under the screen, and you can support us. Different levels will let you do different things to affect the game, including donating a free reroll to our players. It'll go into their pool of rerolls that they can use at their leisure in emergency situations. That'll let them roll 1d20, honestly, as many times as they want. I am a kind and benevolent god. And next up, you can spin the Wheel of Causality, which is our most favorite thing to do here, because it includes in and out of character hijinks that they have to deal with. And so one donation of $10 will spin the wheel. You let us know which character you would like it to affect. So when you spin, put it in your comment or put it in chat so we know what who we're punishing today. The next level up is creating an NPC. We've had that already once this campaign, where you can give me some information, a name, the pronouns, maybe the race, a little fun tidbit about the character, and I will try to fit them into the session as best I can, just so that you can have a little bit of creative input into the way that the session goes. And finally, DMX Machina, which is, that'll be interesting if it ever happens. At the $50 level, you can give the player of your choice 30 seconds of DM powers. I will step aside and they can take over and craft the story in the direction they might want to go. All within reason, obviously. Don't just say, and then the bad guy died. In the moment. DM in the moment. And yeah, so those are the ways that you can contribute to the chaos a little bit here. If you have any ideas for things, please let us know. I'm very excited to take input. But that is what we do here. Those tips help support our show and, most importantly, our network. We are part of the Nerdsmith Network. You can find out more about us at nerdsmith.org, or if you like what you see tonight and you want to support us more regularly, patreon.com/nerdsmith. We put out bonus content and such. And thank so much to anyone who already supports us on Patreon. I want to start reading names out eventually. But I gotta get the list. But you are amazing, and we know that the last year or so has been a little rough, and we really appreciate everyone who stuck around in that way. And those of you who had to take a break or had to kind of jet off because of life and everything, that's okay too. We still love you. And we also want to thank our sponsors. We have a few companies, a few really amazing groups of people that help keep our lights on and help us spread the good word of Nerdsmith with their support. First, I want to thank Eldritch Foundry. That is where our portraits come from, our little character portraits. They're really beautifully rendered fantasy miniature designer. You can get them printed, and you can download digital tokens for free, including a little avatar like what we have, and top-down for map use, which I am a really big fan of. There's just something extremely special about having tokens of your character, and it's the full build that you made. So I really, really love that. Please check them out. We are also supported by World ANVIL. World Ember has come and gone. The month of December was an entire month long of inspiration for writing, and they gave out thousands of dollars of rewards from companies like Dungeon Fog and other partners for World ANVIL. But World ANVIL is around all year long, and you should definitely check them out. It is free to try if you are a author or a DM like myself, someone who just wants to create wiki-style repositories of knowledge of all the cool things that are in your brain. You should check out World ANVIL. It is an incredible tool and resource for that. I am currently making a map for one of my campaigns that has all of the input of what's in the city that the game is based in, and you can click on different tags. You can click on different locations on the map, and it pops up the articles, and you can just have it be a huge resource for your players to help them visualize and function better in the campaign that you run. So please check out worldanvil.com and light up the forge. I don't know what's happening tonight. But Tessa, we have one last sponsor, and would you like to speak on them, please?
I will. I'm trying to psych myself up for this because there's so much going on in this campaign right now, and the stakes are just really, really high. So I'm
super high,
getting kind of grim over here, and I just I've got to do my pre-game ritual of rolling my dice and seeing what happens here. So let's see here. I got a couple of random selections tonight. So let's see here what we got. This one says, well, that's a 2. That's not gonna work. That one's a 3. That was supposedly lucky. Let me try another one.
I'm a little concerned here.
I'm getting really concerned. These man, that's another 2. Okay, I better pull out the big guns here. This is looking really dire, don't you think?
Oh my.
And that is a natural 20. So for when the stakes are absolutely dire, you should go to Die Hard Dice, pick up a dire-sized D20. This one happens to be in the Mythica Dark Copper. It is really pretty. I don't know that is a good... There we go.
Yep, that is. It's so big.
It is really big. So this is, palm-sized compared to... And I will pull up another Die Hard Dice just for comparison, so I'm not comparing different brands.
That's very important.
To a different D20. Well,
Yep.
That's
a
big.
It is really amazing. So if you want your table to go, ow, definitely pick up one of these. This actually has been rolling really well. I was playing with it earlier, and I have yet to roll anything below a 10 on it. So
Heck yeah.
I might just kind of hold on to this for a couple of sessions. Although I do believe it will be going to our illustrious DM at some point. But if you are not in my back pocket and getting Die Hard Dice sent to you because you control whether or not my character lives or dies, you can go to dieharddice.com and pick up your own using the code Nerdsmith-JAN. Your table just says harder dice, Daddy. That's a choice. That is a choice that you made.
Judge.
I do not kink shame. Nor do I dice shame. So, visit our...
Well,
Die Hard Dice is not
those-
going to pay me for this one, so... Now that we've talked about kink, so, you know.
People who live in glass dragon hordes should not,
Not
throw
throw
dire d20s.
Very true.
Thank you, Tessa.
You're
and
welcome.
I just need to say how much I adore dire d20s. I love anything and everything that makes my table sad when I roll it. So that's everything we wanted to cover before we start the show. But let's begin. Previously, in our previous chapter, our heroes newly released from the Book of Fables, have found themselves on a little mini quest of sorts to discover if they in fact want to be the champions of the Book of Fables out here in the material world, or if they just want to go back to the place where they've considered home for the last several years in their mind, or at least in their experience. So, first stop was to Firebranch Ranch, home of Harlan's Furbolg family, who run a ranch and farm. You had a party, sort of a family shindig, one night. There was lots of drinking and games and hanging out in trees and things like that. After a very substantial drinking contest with Uncle Charlie's moonshine, you all went to bed quite soundly and woke up the next morning to do some chorin around the farm. You helped out. There was a little, well, I mean, Aliette maybe. Aliette drank margaritas. That was kind of her contribution. But
That's
the rest,
basically helping.
yeah, you kept Ma Firebranch company while you both drank margaritas, and made food for dinner. You did stuff. The rest of you helped Arabeth, Harlan's older sister, with her herd of mushrooms, cattle that were growing mushrooms and lichen on their backs, and in the process of doing that, you found yourself beset upon by a drake, specifically a paper drake, a very familiar paper drake, one of which you saw your what would be a good way to put it? Your lost companion, Villain, had summoned from a book after stabbing the book. To distract and give you all time to escape the reacclimation center when you returned. But you had to fight this paper drake. You defeated it pretty soundly, though Paru got kind of messed up in the process. And while overlooking the body of this creature, now covered in ink for blood, Olia, you found your own image illustrated on the pages of this paper drake's skin, with the label "The Bookkeeper." It at least seems to you that this might indicate that you were the target of this paper drake's mission here. It seemed very uninterested in anyone until it saw you, and then became very focused on you, and did not really get a chance to enact its attention into action, but it wanted to. So a little bit of unsettling conversation happened. It became clear that perhaps you had a friend here you didn't know was here, as Villain is a changeling, and there was a member of Harlan's family who doesn't remember meeting you, Oliette, and so you might have some suspicions that Villain might have been around. So you decide to leave, move on to the next port, as it were. You all are journeying back to the metronome station. The trains, the underground trains run by the metronomes. And you kind of have a quiet afternoon. You kind of glumly walk back to the town and find the station, get down into the identical underground station here waiting for the train. And there's a little clock on the wall, little analog clock that just sort of ticks and has little markers on it to show you when the train shows up. Very regimented, very predictable, very apropos of this place, yes. And you have a few minutes until the next train arrives. There is obviously that continued tension of being on the trains, but it is the fastest way to get around and really the only way to get between the chronograms, the different settlements in this place. So, you all are at the train station and debating what to do next. You have a number of stops. You could travel to Oliette's home, visit her uncle. You could travel to Paru's family. They live underground. Or you could travel to the end of the metronome line to encounter Beza's maker, which would be a little longer of a trip, but you'd just stay on the train till it stopped. And so you all sort of have those options in your head. I mean, there's always other options, but you'd have to come up with those yourselves. So what do you all talk about? Or debate?
Well, where to?
Yeah, I don't know. I was wondering the same thing, because I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't know exactly what the reception's going to be if I show back up.
What do you mean?
Well, so the gnome who carved me was pretty nice for the little bit that I was with him. I don't think he's innocent, but if his ex-wife is there, she's awful. She's the one who called the authorities and got me taken to the reacclimation center in the first place.
Huh.
I don't know if he would have. He might have. But he didn't seem like he wanted to initially, at least.
But it's only been a couple of days, right? So, ideally, you could have gone to the reacclimation center, become a model citizen, and now you're returning having reacclimated to how life is supposed to be? I don't know how or what they thought would... I don't know what the purpose of sending you there was, because you're... I don't know. But, I mean, of all of us, you at least look the same.
Well, mostly anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what they were going to do with me at the reacclimation center either, because the problem they had with me was the fact that I existed.
Yeah.
They might have just been putting you in a place to help you try to find your purpose until they can fit you into the grand plan.
I mean, to be fair, that's true. They might have been redoing their calculations for the anomaly, I suppose.
Yeah. And I mean, you were designed to be a bodyguard, and you are now an even more efficient bodyguard.
That's true. So I mean, it's an option. I'm just throwing it out there because I know Paru doesn't seem very interested in seeing a family, and Oliet, you seem kind of on the fence, especially since for both of you, you look different, so it might be even weirder. Although it went okay with Harlan's family.
It's not so much that I don't want to go back. I mean, okay, no, let's be honest. I don't want to go back. However, being underground, I at least feel like it might be safer for us because we're not out in the open. But I'm also completely comfortable with pretending not to be Paru and just being somebody else. But I don't know how well that'll go, because I'm sure one look at the mushrooms and I will be incensed. So,
Are you the only one that can do the mushroom thing?
well, I couldn't do the mushroom thing when I left, so there's that. But I think it's more of the not harvesting of the mushrooms that was the issue, because mushrooms should not be eaten, they are friends. But that's just me.
Well, I'm thinking, if we do end up going to your folks, then we could just say that we have a mushroom allergy that we can't partake, and we shouldn't go near the mushroom field because spores and whatnot.
I don't eat anyway.
That's true.
Empty calories.
I mean, we could do that, and I whatever you guys are comfortable with. My only thought about going underground is that it might be safer and easier to hide.
I'm all for that right now.
I mean, that's valid. And to be perfectly honest, anywhere above ground, we're going to be kind of noticeable. I mean, we're going to be noticeable anywhere, but it's going to be worse above ground. I'm kind of like a big white beacon walking down the street.
Question: can you guys all see under the ground in the dark?
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing?
No.
Because I'm like the only goblin who can't. So that might be the only thing that gives me away. But I have the spores now, so it might be okay.
I mean...
So, none of you can see in the dark?
Oh.
No.
Does not appear so.
No.
How do I not know this about you?
If you cast light on me, I look like a big walking candle.
That's true. Oh, I think I can use a spell at least for a little bit of time to make people see underground. But, you know. Yeah, it was weird being the only goblin growing up who couldn't see under the ground.
Well, we're the perfect excuse for you to have a light source.
Yeah. That's perfect.
That does remind me of a town that a town I was traveling through me apart, but all the power had gone out, and so they decided to light up the party with yours truly. So they ended up calling that party the Blue Light Special.
Oh my god.
When is this train coming? How far? Do we know how long?
You do. You see the clock. You see that there are 30 seconds left on the clock as it slowly ticks down towards 30. Oliette, I assume you just are busying yourself by watching that 30 seconds go by.
Yeah, just trying to tune out this blue light special.
Mhm.
Checking my appearance in my mirror in my bag.
And you see as it gets closer and closer, when there's about 10 seconds left, you start hearing a ticking echoing from down the tunnel, sort of this deep as you also hear the engine of this metro train heading into the station. And on perfect time, with a of the brakes, just as it hits the little, we'll say it's a little red bar on the clock, just as it hits, the train stops and the doors open, and you see that there is another, like, 30 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. Oh no, it would be precisely 20 seconds between it opening its doors and when it is set to depart. And the countdown has begun.
All right, well, let's hop on.
All right.
Mind if
I do over my shoulder, just glance. Just, it's becoming like second nature. I'm simultaneously dreading and also still kind of hoping to see Villain.
I mean,
Not even expecting to, but I always look.
It's worth the look. and you look back and you see a few people sort of like milling around. It seems like there may be maintenance workers, not someone who actually takes the train. A few people do hop off the train this time, and they just sort of go about their business, kind of cutting and weaving around you all to get out. And you don't see Belaine.
Yeah.
But you all hustle
Okay.
on the station. You see as the rest of your friends hop on, and you know that this train isn't gonna wait for anybody. It's how they keep their schedule. And so you hop on the train, like another second or two passes, and the doors go whoosh and shut. And then you are inside, and you hear. You also see a little box, like almost a little put a coin in, turn the gear, and get a prize kind of boxes. That if you put a silver into the machine, it will spit out a pair of like earplugs. They're not going to change the ticking, but they did come up with a compromise that also helped fund the train.
Smart.
So that is available. Otherwise, you just hear for the rest of your train ride. Some people learn how to like kind of block it out, not think about it. Some people buy the earbuds.
How full is this train right now? Are there a lot of people on here with us?
There are, let's say it's like a third full. So this particular car, this train has like 4 cars on it, and this car is about filled to a third of the capacity of it. You see a lot of people with like briefcases and uniforms, more just kind of they clearly work in the chronograms in some capacity. Just very drab, tired, probably heavily caffeinated people. So yeah.
Can I look around and see if there's anyone that's visible without making it too obvious that they either have like their eyes covered or possibly their hat pulled down, just anything like that?
Sure. Go ahead and give me a perception check as you look around and try to assess that particular detail.
I rolled a 1. I see nothing.
There are people, and you catch a couple of faces, but you don't see anything like that. Just, you know. So no, you don't see anything that would immediately trigger that thought of someone with their eyes concealed. But there are a number of people. If any of the rest of you look around the group.
Yeah, I would look around too. Also while kind of saying under our breath, we should sit close so we can talk without being heard.
I'm still not entirely convinced that Verlaine doesn't have access, just as a heads up.
Yeah.
Anything that's super sensitive, we might have to wait.
That's fine. And she'll go ahead and do a quick cursory look around to see if she can see anybody.
Sure. Give me a perception
I'm
check.
pulling out my to-go margarita from my fire branch.
Alright, this seems to be a fairly important roll, so I'm gonna go ahead and use the die or d20 and see what happens.
Do it.
Yeah.
Hopefully you roll better than me.
Good. Startled my husband. That's amazing. 19 total.
19. So, so what are you looking for?
I'm looking to see if I see anybody who is either wearing an eye patch, is surreptitiously concealing their face, that kind of thing. Anyone who might match Verlaine's general go-to when he is hidden.
All right. Well, you see a pair of they look like soldiers. They're in armor, metal armor. That they're wearing helmets that sort of obscure their face a little bit. You can sort of see a little hint of eye maybe. It's just a little shadowed when they're wearing this sort of like, it's one of those where the nose, there's like a nose piece and there's just like an eye slit kind of thing. So you can't quite see their eyes. There's also a human human man with very pale freckled skin, who has not brushed his hair in a while and is just a little bit sort of like draped to the side. You do kind of note him, but it's the wrong side of his face.
Okay.
So you just sort of move on from that. You glance around more and you see a little troop of what look like kobolds. And they appear to be, there's a kobold at the front of them with a fancy mask with feathers on it, and he's holding a tiny little flag on a stick. Appears to be barking orders at the other kobolds.
Welcome, Raiders.
Thanks, Raiders. So yeah, you see that those are sort of there, and there are a few there's a few other miscellaneous people aboard. Nobody with their eyes covered, though.
Okay.
You can see everyone's face.
Is there anywhere to sit that is away from the soldiers?
Oh, sure, absolutely. If you go to, they're kind of at the front. It's very, I don't understand this. It's very overachiever. You sit at the front of the class when you want to show that you're paying attention, and you could sit in the back of the train car and be pretty much polar opposite from the guards.
Nice.
They appear to be not necessarily like military. They appear more like they're maybe regional, maybe militia from a chronograph. And you see, we will have this soon for everyone, but you see the little the metronome map, and it has the chronograms in order, in numeric order, that you will travel through as you're going around the island, and so yeah, you can step away from them pretty easily.
Okay. So yeah,
do they look at all when we get on the train?
Do they what?
Do they look up at us at all when we get on the train?
A little bit. They glance up and note anyone who comes on the train, and then they just sort of go back to sitting. They don't seem to be eyeing you with any particular focus.
Well, I'll just sit over there. And Paro kind of gestures with her head away, like somewhere we can be a little bit out of the way.
I'll meet y'all over there. I'm gonna go check out that map.
All right.
All right.
Is the map near the soldiers or the guards?
It's near the front of the train car.
I am going to accompany Harland, but I'm
okay.
I'm like desperately trying to get their attention, but in like the most subtle, like kind of way. Just
okay.
Just
so
Oliette acting
so
out.
What I'm hearing is Oliette is going to do a bend and snap in front of
Exactly.
Okay.
Just accidentally drop
I
something
just
small.
wanted to know. Harlan goes, "Oh, Oliette, you dropped this." Just
No, just put it back down.
So, you both wander up to the front of the car, and you're still hearing the of the metronome train, and Harlan, you are heading for the map. What are you looking for on the map? Are you just looking for general directions? Are you just trying to figure out, like, what are you trying to do?
Yeah, because he may not be able to read, but he definitely knows how to count to 20.
That's great. That's good, because there are at least 20 stops on this map.
So, he gets there and he's like looking at the map and so, which one were you just at?
This one.
Oh my god.
I hate it. I hate it. No, it's fine. It's great. It's
that
great.
happened.
So, Harland, Oliet does something weird, and then she's pointing at the Chroniker 5, where you just were.
Right. So, the next stop looks like it looks like a is that a 6?
Is it? Oh, can I assume safely? That's...
My heart, yes, it is a 6.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Harlan. That's
Can I borrow a piece of paper and perhaps a pen? I would like to sketch this out, so that way we have it for posterity.
Oh my god, do I have to make a map as drawn by Harlan? Is that
I think you
what you're
do.
doing
I'll
now,
do it.
kind
Kyle?
of do now.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I'll
that's
produce the
the
paper
only
and the pen.
map. The only map is going to be the one Harlan produced.
Amazing.
Okay. Beautiful. So yeah, Harlan, you sketch out a little bit and you see the next few stations. You see that you're gonna go through Chroniker. Well, you already are at Chroniker 5. You'll be going through Chroniker 6 and 7, and then you'll be heading towards Chronogram 5. It looks like there are like 3 Chronikers. So there's 3 sort of farming or industrial districts to each city district. And they seem like they probably produce much of the resources for everyone in the city and the adjacent regions. But yeah, so and to be honest, from what the looks of it, they're all almost identically formatted. The chronograms, you see the little tiny maps of the cities, but that looks identical to Chronogram 4. Like, so it's very monotonous the way that this thing is designed. It's just a lot of the same, and you see that it's basically a big circle around. There's like maybe one curve into the island, but there's a lot of blank space on the map. That the trains just don't go to. They're not labeled. They're just, you see the edges of the walls around each of the chronikers, and the trains just go from station to station, and they do not deviate, obviously because it's a train. But the idea that the map doesn't really indicate anything other than these train stations.
All right. So as he's sketching this, can I try to sense motive to see what if I'm picking up what Oliet's putting down?
Please do.
All right.
Oh my god.
This makes me happy.
Sorry, it's an insight. I keep forgetting that.
Mm-hmm.
Yours, Pathfinder.
It's all good.
That's
Nat 20.
no, just a total of 20.
Just a 20.
Yeah.
Okay. Is Oliet are Oliet's gestures targeting the soldiers? Are you like making eyes at them as you're doing this sort of stuff?
Yeah, kind of. I think that, to be honest, with a 20 especially, you realize that Oliet is acting out, frustrated about everything that's been going on with Villain, obviously missing the adoration of her fan club from the Feywilds, just acting kind of like a brat. Just trying to get like vapid attention for no good reason.
All right.
She's acting out.
So Harland is nothing if not an enabler. So as he's writing on the map, he will be holding on to the pen, and I'll model the behavior of what happens.
If you're holding the pen and you bend and snap, I'm gonna die.
Oh no!
No,
And I'll just
no.
slowly go pick it up. Just being the worst.
God.
I love it.
So our himbo and our mean girl have
Joined forces
Okay.
for chaos.
So what is the intention
Oh.
here as I try to figure out what you're rolling here?
Me? I just need somebody to validate me. I just need to feel hot and important and not
Okay.
abandoned and targeted like Verlaine is making me feel.
Okay, that's fair. What about you, Harlan? Are you trying to just throw a similar energy out?
You know what? It looks like Oliet is on a mission. So let's see where this goes. As maybe something fun will happen. Just kind of
Okay.
rolling with the punches, you know.
No, that's fine. You're rolling with something. So, go ahead
Amazing.
and both give me a. Let's call it a persuasion check.
There's no
Two-
brat check in 5e.
There's no brat check. No.
Okay. Persuasion.
Well, I need to go tweet that.
Actually, you know what? Not persuasion. Give me an insight check. That seems a little better. How are they reacting to what you're doing?
Okay.
Based on that, if you roll well on the insight check, you can then roll persuasion to see if you can like kind of lean into whatever the vibe you're getting from it.
16.
16? What about you, Harlan?
Got a 13.
13. Okay. So, Oliet, you see the two soldiers. It's a little hard to check their basic expressions. One of them, however, you do see like the tiniest quirk of a like sort of adjusting his collar a bit.
Beautiful.
Not a bad reaction.
I mean, I'll take what I can get at this point. It's better than having a dragon sent after me. So, yeah, I'm just gonna kind of ham it up for a little bit.
Okay.
I don't really have any huge aims with them. I just need to feel like myself again.
Sure, absolutely. So, so go ahead and roll me a persuasion now that you sort of are like, I got your number. And Harlan, you've had plenty of experience. Like, there's a performative aspect to like hanging out in taverns and that folk hero-ness that you have occasionally indulged in the odd public display of himbo-ness. So yeah, you just
So
kind of
only
go,
an 11 on
oh
persuasion.
no, my sleeve is ripping under my shirt.
Is that what you refer to as PH? Just PDA and now PDH.
Yes, public displays of himboism.
Place of himboism. It's an 11 for the
11?
persuasion.
Y'all are giving me
So,
really good shirt ideas tonight. I gotta write these public displays of
Yeah,
himboism.
yeah.
Give me a brat check.
Can I roll a brat check?
I
Wow.
need the "Can I roll a brat check" shirt. Let me just tell you right now.
I need it for me though, not for this character. For me.
Same.
So, Oliet, you you're sort of, you and Harlan are looking at this map, and occasionally you just sort of like ask a question that's really obvious, but you just like are sort of just pointing, so you lean a little bit in the direction of the soldier. This is really weird narrating how Oliet flirts. So eventually you do like make eye contact with the person under the helmet, and you try the dropping the pen again, but like whoops in his direction. And the soldier sort of almost like elbows his partner in the chest, trying to get down for the pen, and he lifts it up, and he like sort of leans over and offers it to you, and he's just like, oh, here you go, ma'am.
Oh my god. No. Bail.
Oh no! You've been ma'amed.
Oh god. Yeah, I mean, I'll just.
My lady.
Oh, that's worse. Oh god. Just like, okay, Harlan, are you done? We gotta sit down. This is not. This ain't it.
Worth it, so worth it.
That was. Oh my god, that was amazing.
So, you just go abort.
Nope. Mom, I bet. Nope.
Oh, not my pen. So weird. Totally not my pen. And you just leave
Harlan,
it.
you drop something and just dip.
Harlan will, like reach down and grab the pens, like just lightly brush the palm as he picks up the pen. Just, thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, wingman for life.
Still kind of works for this guy apparently.
Hey,
Hey.
it happens to the best of us.
That it
I
does.
mean, we all have a soft spot for farm boys, and so Harlan, you feel Oliette kind of tug you away, and you head back to the group in the chair. And Oliette, you return not triumphant in battle.
I feel like Paru and Beza probably were just like watching this from across the train, like, the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, what are they hoping to accomplish with this?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, she keeps dropping a pen, so maybe she's trying to improve a hand-eye coordination?
Maybe, like, I don't get it. I thought we were supposed to be keeping a low profile. How is this low? I mean, she's getting low when she bends over, I guess, but that's not what we... I mean, every time she bends over, they keep looking, so I'm really confused.
I don't know. They're looking at the two of them like the harlots look at Harlan, though.
Oh. Gotcha. Okay. I think I understand the angle now. Not sure the
Glad
purpose. Yeah, I'm not sure, but I think I kind of get it. I think.
Do you really? Are you sure, Paru?
Paru kind of understands the idea of flirting. Not at all
There's a
how
bit of
Paru flirts, but yeah. She gets it a little bit, though.
There's a bit of what Harlan's throwing down that you're like, you sort of saw Arabeth doing a little bit of this,
Yeah.
like, oh, let me just get this thing on the shelf sort of thing.
That she understands. She understands that one.
Yeah.
The dropping the pen thing is... That is not a finer point of flirting that Paro has learned. Please do, because I'm sure Arabeth would totally not at all find that endearing. Little tiny goblin. Ah, yeah.
So, you head back to the group on the metronome train, and what do you, so what do you do? Just, go milling about in the back again? They don't seem like they were paying much attention to you in a suspicious way. Now there's a little bit of occasional, you hear a little armor clanking, and he kind of looks glancing back. Though, Oliette, you're not sure if he's looking at you or Harlan, maybe both. And he sort of turns back around. My voice is just naturally breaking as I describe his actions. He's just turning around. It's fine.
So how long until we get to a cave? Where exactly are we going, Paru?
So this is a good question, and where exactly are we going?
How far off the beaten path did you think your family lived?
Sorry, I love wearing my hat, but these headphones and my hat do not agree.
We gotta fix that.
I gotta
get you a good set for your hat.
I gotta get new earbuds that don't die midway through stream.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's see here. So, I was imagining it was maybe not quite as far as Harlan's family off the beaten path,
Sure.
but definitely outside of a village or something, and then through, like, I don't know if it's like a cave entrance or if it's like a more marked entrance because of it's a farming community, so I don't know what.
Yeah, no, I understand. So, then let's say you're at Chronicle 7.
Okay.
That's where your family lives.
Okay.
So 2 station stops from where you are currently.
Okay, so not too bad. We only have 2 stops to go.
And the thing is, though, this is a 2 stops. I mean, this is a train that traverses a big chunk of the continent or the island. It's a big island, though. So, you think, based on the trip you took to the Reacclimation Center, that you could be on this train for upwards of like an hour for these 2 stops. This is not a like, oddly enough, it's not a metro.
Metronome.
like an inner city. Yeah, it's not like a city. It's more like Atlanta. Like you travel a long way on the Atlanta Metro. Like you go out of town, like out of Atlanta to travel on that. So it's kind of like that. You're going regional.
Okay.
And so yeah, so you estimate you've got some time.
About an hour or so. Not too bad.
Okay.
So you all sit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, we could always plan where we want to go after that.
Yeah.
It's true. It's very true.
Just make an itinerary of sorts.
Well,
Sure.
That's true.
Beza, you're at the end of the line.
Yeah, I mean, the metronome that crafted me, carved me, birthed me. I don't know what you want to call it, but either
Made.
way, he lives at the end of the line. He's one of the I don't remember what the word for it is. He's like a step above the basic metronome.
Engineer?
That might be the word for it. I honestly don't remember. But either way, that's why he wanted me to be his bodyguard. I was supposed to keep him protected because he's got a lot of plans and things that have to do with how the trains function, so he's important.
Okay.
I didn't turn out to be exactly the kind of bodyguard he was expecting.
Well, you know.
But-
And then, Aliette, where are you located? Are you closer in towards the cities? I mean, I kind of assumed, being that you were such a fancy person, that you are more of a city dweller. But I'm not sure.
So I'm from the main. Correct me if I'm wrong, Angela, but I thought that Uncle Eb's bookshop was in the same city as the Reacclimation Center, or the.
Well, Chronogram 4 is it's near it, basically like Chronogram 4, then the Reacclimation Center. So basically you could head back on the train, but you were sort of like getting out of Dodge as quickly as possible before. You could like sort of maneuver the trains to get back to 4. It just take a little train hopping.
Okay.
That's all. You just happen to like all book it in the direction of Harlan's place. You like got on the train as quickly as possible. Didn't really matter what direction you were going.
Sure. Yeah. I just mean for the purposes of getting back or describing where I'm from.
Yeah.
It's in a
Yeah,
different
back the other
city.
way. You're in Chronogram 4, which is back the other way.
So we're actually headed in that direction now.
You're headed the other way. You're headed away from Chronogram 4 right now.
Okay.
You basically went, like, the Reacclimation Center was here, Chronogram 4 was here, and y'all went that way.
Got it. And we're continuing on that same path towards where
it's gonna be sort of it'll stop at one point, and there's a couple of forks you can take other trains that kind of loop back around. I will make a map, I promise.
That's okay.
As drawn by Harland.
I will explain all of that as Aliette.
Yeah, that it's you're not heading in the direction. Oh, thank you, Kyle. Please send me that.
Oh, so good.
Oh my god,
love
it's
it.
almost like a clock. Imagine that. So
Wild.
God, they're
Love
so
it.
predictable. Freaking Modrons. Anyway, it's very good, Kyle. Please, I legitimately send me a picture because I'll play off it.
Patreon content.
No, that's official content. That's like you guys need that.
Good thing I'm a patron then.
Yeah, right. So you get the sense that to get to Oliette's uncle's place, you'll have to get on the train for a little longer. Maybe change tracks.
I'm honestly not in a hurry though. A cave sounds great.
I mean, it's not like we're uncivilized or anything. There's lights and houses
They do eat mushrooms though.
Well, that is about as barbaric a thing as I can imagine, is eating mushrooms. But and I heartily and wholeheartedly disagree with that thought. They should not be eaten. And the mushrooms are a interesting line. I guess they're not actually mushrooms, so I can kind of deal with that. But Yeah. Anyway, I mean, it's a thriving village.
Is that like a
Just-
bar or like?
There is absolutely a bar.
Seem like
There's a bar. There's musicians that hang out. They, I mean, a lot of people grow and brew their own wine. It's heavily distributed. Down there, it's kind of like this purpley red, jewel-toned wine. It's very sweet. People seem to enjoy that. Or they've got like harder stuff. It's like thick and really hearty, kind of like
there it is.
sticks to your ribs kind of thing. Almost like a mud of some sort.
Sticky, yeah.
Yeah, it's
That
a
all
little
sounds
sticky.
disgusting. I still don't understand how you guys drink and eat on a regular basis.
Remember that feeling that you had of like that empty anger in your middle?
Oh yeah.
We do that
That
to
was
avoid
pretty
that.
awful.
I mean, Oliet's feeling that right now too, but it's not hunger. Just
No,
anger.
honestly, there's two ways to go about it. You can eat, or you can fill that empty anger with tequila and just channel the rage somewhere else.
Mm.
That's what some
Lean
of us
into
do.
Oh my god.
Matarita. So yeah, so you explain to the group, Paru, the finer points of your home.
Of smush wine and sticky mud.
Yeah, of tales of smush wine and sticky mud.
She is very careful not to call it smush wine. Because she's pretty sure that would like absolutely put Oliet off of it immediately.
Probably. That's fair.
Nor
I
does
think
she
you-
mention it's made from mushrooms.
No, it's fine. It's fine. There's a new. This wine has a bouquet of umami to it.
It's got this really earthy flavor.
It's a, yeah. It's not a white wine, so you can't just be like, it's got green apple and shiitake? Like, is that sort of what's going on here?
Pick me up the cake in which the cask was aged, and more of
There was
the cake.
definitely mold in that cask.
the.
Ugh.
Anyway, so as you're talking,
Some wines have
you-
floral notes. This one has fungal notes.
fungal notes. Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
so oh my, Kyle just sent me his map, and the way Harland wrote the word map, it just
No.
Is it like Winnie
I know
the
you
Pooh
said-
handwriting? Like the P is backwards?
oh, I
He was
adore it.
very careful to write it as he saw it.
hmm
His penmanship is just terrible.
He just needs glasses.
I love the idea that Gura would have like hours-long conversations with you about existentialism and the meaning of life.
Never
but
teach
he
you how
didn't
to
teach you
write.
how to read.
I like that you can effectively use the word itinerary in a sentence, but you don't know what the number 6 is. I'm confused about it's Harlan's
very-
knowledge base here. I'm here for it.
It's very specific.
Very niche.
There's a
Yeah,
lot of
his
text-dependent parroting involved.
he's heard them used in a sentence, so he's able to recreate their
That just
usage.
means that. Excellent.
Mhm. So you spend the next while, maybe the next half an hour, chatting about where Paru comes from, and Paru, how much do you share about? I mean, you did share a little bit just now about the idea of them eating or eating mushrooms, and you having a very strong ethical issue with that, being the friend of mushrooms that you are. But do you say anything else as to the like sort of the dynamic you have with your family, who your family is, that sort of thing?
So my parents are, I mean, they're farmers, like Harlan's family. They are they primarily grow the mushrooms, and we're the Masaruma family, and so they've been mushroom farmers for a really long time. I mean, obviously we like eat other things aside from mushrooms, but the problem is that they are particularly mushroom farmers, and I won't eat mushrooms at all. And I may have liberated an entire month's worth of mushroom harvest back to the earth. And that was a problem. So that's all.
Is that what got you sent to the reacclimation center?
Yes. That and talking about the Gabo Yaga.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still not sure who that is.
Have you seen the Gabo Yaga? Is that?
I've never.
Do you have any hard evidence or?
Did you have any hard evidence that there was a narrator in your head?
I mean, I do now, and I'll hold up the book.
Well,
It's like, oh no, I was definitely considering that my.
Oh, I thought I was crazy. Okay, I thought I was
No,
hallucinating.
You distinctly thought that you had a concussion. That the concussion was talking to you.
Yep.
That's right.
I have been given visions by the Gabo Yaga, and a couple of times she's talked to me, but that's it. I don't have any. I've never seen her. I've never laid eyes on her, so no, I don't have visual proof. But as you have learned, that doesn't mean that something doesn't exist just because you can't see it.
Here to judge. I'm just wondering if we should go look for her.
I've been trying, and if I could find her, I would be very happy.
You know, oddly enough, we might want to tap an unexpected source to be able to find her. We could talk to the harlots.
Do you think the harlots will know where the Gabo Yaga is?
Well, lots of them, I never saw what they were seeing, mind you, but lots of them would repeat, "Oh God, oh God." So obviously they were thinking something.
God damn it! I knew it was good.
My God.
I can't even finish that sentence because you're just gonna turn it around on me.
Oh,
Harlan,
Lord.
why did we hang out for?
I missed what you said, Kyle. I'm sorry. What was that?
I said, I just figured that everybody was just real religious.
That's one way to put it.
Again, my choice of companions while in the book, apparently. I mean, I had all the fun parties, but nothing like that ever happened to me. So.
Is that what happens when they say the whole, like, you're overcome by the Holy Spirit thing?
Oh, God. Sure.
Sure, yeah. Le petit mot. Sort of.
Bless you.
Is that Elvish? I don't speak Elvish.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I'll explain that one later.
Mhm.
That's a whole other conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that not necessarily part of the mushroom population teachings.
They mostly reproduced via spores.
Yeah.
They missed out.
Yeah, the Myconids,
Anyway.
I didn't really get much of the Queen of the Vine did what she could in that department, at least teaching wise, but yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. So you're telling me that the Queen of the Vine gave you the talk?
Yes, that is all.
Oh my god. So picture it.
Yes, I am picturing.
10 foot tall Minotaur Fey Queen trying to teach the. I mean, if anyone's gonna teach you the birds and the bees, though, Her Majesty of the Vine seems like the perfect choice.
Yeah.
I feel like Sir Tuscandale and the Queen of the Hunt probably never mentioned it at all because there was.
You heard
no
lots of
issue.
body stories from the hunters, but not
Yeah.
from them. Sir Tuscandale was like, harumph, that was far too ungentlemanly for me to speak on such things.
Also, Baze is a carved stone stat. She's not anatomically correct. It doesn't matter.
So, in my attempt to move forward,
I have a clinical understanding, and that's about it.
We have a very enlightening conversation about
Harlan there.
about Harlan's life experiences. You know, you always sort of assume based on the fact that he has not one but 2 fan clubs back in the book, but just hearing him talk about it just brings a whole new level of real to that tidbit of information.
Harlan, I've never felt closer to you than I do right now.
Are you sitting right next to him?
Yes.
Very good.
Sure, several of his fan clubs have said the same thing.
Oh my god. Don't leave us on a train with just room to. You can't do this, Angela. We're just gonna keep going.
As you're talking, you hear a ding.
One stop, one more to go.
Chroniker 6, please exit the vehicle. Chroniker 6, please exit the vehicle. Thank you for your patronage on the metronome system. You don't hear much of the rest of the message. They really
Is
should
this
work
us?
on the intercom system.
One more.
And a few people get up, including the 2 soldiers. And one of them just kind of glances in the back of the car and just stares at the ground and walks.
Aww.
Oh no.
Does he trip?
Yep, mind
Oh.
the gap.
No. Killed someone.
No, he just runs into his partner and someone's very fucking going.
Beautiful.
Sorry,
Is anyone
I didn't
taking a
mean to-
short rest? By the way, I remember
That's
we
your
left
call.
the farm
You'll
a
be
little
here
bit
for an
beat up.
hour, so yeah.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say
babe.
Paro.
Yeah, I need a short rest. I'm still at 16 out of 25 hit points.
Gotcha.
So if you take a short rest, you can add an extra 1d6 to if you're using hit dice.
Thank you.
As I will be telling I'm going to be repeating a really lewd poem since we're on the topic that I read in one of the forbidden books.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah,
in
yeah.
the library when I was living or staying with the
Her Majesty of the
the
Word.
queen of
Awesome.
yep, the Queen of the Word. She had a section that I wasn't supposed to look through, but obviously I did.
Of course, of
I'll
course.
be repeating a filthy poem for you. So you can add an extra 1d6.
Awesome. I am back up to full, and I am probably on the floor laughing. Also, like, half fascinated, half laughing. I was like, okay, I need you to find me similar things so that when we go back, I can... Harlan, cover your ears. So I can, you know, maybe impress Arabeth a little bit more.
I got you. Don't worry.
Okay, thank you. You can uncover him now, Harlan.
To hit on Harlan's sister.
You know, you should just do it.
We have a date when I get back.
Well, great. That starts. All things start with the small seed being planted.
Ooh. Phrasing. Okay, let's get.
Mhm.
Can we?
There's part of you, Oliet, that kind of instinctively looks around for Villain because this is one of those moments where he'd have like, he'd just put himself in the conversation right there. And so the 30 seconds or so passed. Obviously, you were telling the story for longer, but the doors shut. And you continue on your way. You now have a few different people on the train with you. You still have the kobold tour guide and the other little kobolds. They're all like, there's like 6 to a seat. They're all just kind of smushed in together. And there are a few. There's an elven man with almost like lavender skin and gray hair. Doesn't seem old, just hair is gray, and has it sort of like knotted into braids and pulled back on his head. He's
Paru is admiring the braids as well.
yeah, they're really intricate. And I mean, Oliet, he's reading a book.
You can't do this, Angela.
Sorry. All my NPCs are some shade of hot. I mean, I made a character, and over my peers, I made a character that I couldn't help but describe as Jason Momoa in 30 years, and now he's now everyone, but now all the players in the game just call him Storm Daddy, and that's just his name now, and I can't undo it.
Storm Daddy
content you came
is...
for, folks.
Like that.
It's
With the
true.
Why
first
you're here.
crowd you got here. Like that's
Every NPC is some variant of a daddy.
Well, considering I accidentally made a satyr that looks like Gadget from Rescue Rangers earlier today, so... It was so not intentional.
Reading. Can I see from here?
He's reading a book that you can't read. It's in a language you don't read. So that's at least intriguing in and of itself. And he just sort of has his his hand, and he's kind of brushing a sort of a 5 o'clock shadow that he has, because God, I had to make him hotter. And
Right?
and
Dare you?
he's sort of thinking really hard on the book, and then he's writing some notes in the margins, but you're too far away to see what he's writing.
Papa Thunder. Oh my god. I'm Storm Daddy and Papa Thunder. I'm here for it.
Oh my god.
I see new shirts coming.
Mm-hmm. And so you have this elven individual. You have there's a dwarvish couple, two women who come in, and they're quietly chatting with each other. They both seem to have wedding bands on, big thick ones, with like lots of intricate detail on them, but they're like big fucking statement pieces. And they're just sort of chatting along, also staring up at the metronome map, trying to figure out where they're going. Most people that come on the train, though, they seem like they're just commuting. So it's very like business as usual for them. So as you are getting closer to your station, you see there's a countdown clock. It's very handy, actually. They're that particular with the way that the train works that they can actually just say, "We will arrive at this time." And so you're just sort of like occasionally paying attention to the clock, occasionally just chatting about whatever. And you see that there's maybe like 2-3 minutes left in your ride to get to Chronicle 7, and you're just kind of like, okay, 2 minutes, okay, minute 50, that's great, minute 30, and you hear a very sudden crashing noise, a rumble that fills the train car, and you hear like the brakes being engaged, and everyone sort of lurches forward a little bit. And the intercom.
Are the kobolds okay?
They were wearing their seatbelts.
Very important.
They were
Train
all
safety.
sharing one. And everyone just kind of was like reacclimating themselves, and you hear on the intercom, "Everyone please remain seated. We have a slight we have a slight obstruction in the railway that we'll be working on clearing up, so if y'all just wait here and stay in your seats, everything will be fine, and we'll be returning momentarily. Thank you."
do y'all need any help clearing it?
I don't think that's how that works, Harlan.
I don't know if these things seem to be on a pretty rigid schedule, and I can't imagine that this is, baked into the.
No, I think she meant the intercom.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like a two-way radio kind of thing. But we could see if there's like a conductor or something, and we could see if someone's driving the train or...
Mm-hmm.
How these stations, is there typically quite a bit of room between the top of the train and the top of the tunnel, or is it more like a really tight space like a bullet train?
It is very efficiently designed. There is not a lot of space. But there are little hallways between each car, like little doorways that you can get to each car. So you could theoretically walk forward in the car. If you investigate what was going on.
Well, I mean...
Should we?
I mean, I kind of want to. They told us to stay seated, and we're trying to keep a low profile, though.
There's that. But if we don't go check it out and we're stuck here forever and ever, it's more likely that we're gonna get caught.
Also true.
She does not finish that sentence because she realizes anybody who hears her finish it will sound really incriminating. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah,
So what do you do?
we might as well volunteer ourselves. Yeah, I've lived my life thus far, just helping as I go, and it has served me well. And we might experience some equal hospitality to what I've experienced previously. You
Okay.
never know.
All right, let's go see if we can help.
And remember, as long as we act like we're supposed to be here, no one questions
The
it.
Harlan way.
Mm-hmm.
I will, as we're making our way forward, just like with my knee, gently kind of accidentally bump into the elf who's reading.
Oh, sure. You bump into the elf. Do you look and see any reaction that you have?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Excuse me.
And he looks up and you see his eyes are black except for these like little ringlets of white.
Oh my
It's
god.
like gambit eyes but white, and he looks up at you with this sort of grave expression.
Hmm.
That's all right. Sorry, it happened. It just happened. I'm sorry. I
We all
regret
die.
it.
Everyone in the train just dies. No, I'm not gonna. Okay. Oh, whew, okay. He might be too hot. I'm gonna keep walking. I can get nervous.
Not your speedless. Okay, bye.
He's more afraid than this.
Abort.
He's hotter than me. Must abort.
Too hot. Bail.
We want them hot, but not hotter than myself. Got it.
There's a window. There's a safety window. Hotness.
Safety window.
There is.
I'm sorry, I got very, very distracted from a dirty joke that was DM'd to me via somebody in this group.
Was it the same joke that made its way to me? Maybe.
I don't know, maybe. Anyway,
Because I was very also distracted.
So what? Yeah, man. Little did you know this elf guy was the BBEG.
That's fine.
Just TPK.
Kill me.
Shenanigoons have a history of bad times on trains.
Yeah, trains are just a bad
Oh my
time.
god, yes we do.
Anyway, so so you head for the car connection.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little finicky. You have to kind of like unwind a locking mechanism for a little bit, but you do get it open and you're able to exit, and so now you're in this like sort of interstitial space between the two cars. You are technically out in the tunnel, but it's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but you can see there's enough room for like a person on either side of the tunnel. But do you keep going or do you stay out of the train?
I think our goal is to get to the front of the train. Is there?
Correct.
Well, actually, would we know if there are conductors on these trains? Is there somebody in the driver's seat, or is it all?
There are metroneers, the engineers. They operate. There's like maintenance operators. They kind of travel between the cars, but it's mostly self-propelled. Other than the engineers, and there might be like a head engineer who's sort of supervising all the others.
Okay. I think go there, right?
Yeah.
I'm posing this question to my companions.
Gotcha.
That does
Yeah.
make sense.
Okay.
Right. So you head forward. You pass through a number of other cars, still doing the locking mechanism. People are getting a little like, oh, what's going on? Oh, we were so close. Oh, I've never seen it go off schedule like this before. It's so weird. And so people are kind of like tense and confused, some more than others. You get the sense that there are some people that buy into the whole shtick about life by the schedule, the mighty schedule, a little more than other people. And as you get to the front car, you see that there is a door ajar in the front compartment before you hit like what you'd conceivably think is maybe like the engine room. that is heading out into the tunnel, and you see a few like sort of beams of light moving around in the front, and some shouting between a couple of people out in the tunnel itself in front of the train.
Can we hear what they're saying, or is it too echoey?
If you get a little closer to the door, you can make out some of the words.
Yeah.
You hear, "Oh God, I've never seen anything like this. But it just ruined the track. What are we gonna do?" And it's like, "No, it's fine. Just relax. It's gonna be okay. We're just gonna, you know, do a little bit of repairs. It'll be fine." And it's like, "Oh God, we're gonna get fired." "No, you don't get fired. You get disassembled." "No, oh God, I only got meat parts. I don't know how you disassemble someone with meat parts, but this is gonna be terrible."
Okay, we need to help them. I don't want anybody being disassembled.
I say, could we be of assistance?
So who is that? And you kind of peek your head out and you see these three deep gnomes. They have almost a navy or like purple, a deep purple skin. Their eyes are bright red, and they have like sort of white hair, like drow but gnomes. And you see these three deep gnomes, and they all three of them look at you. They're wearing like those drab sort of reclamation center sort of looking uniforms, but they're sort of overall shaped. And they each have a little candle lantern on their heads. That's like a little hooded lantern that points at you, and they look at you, and arguably the tallest one, the one who was saying everything was going to be okay, looks at you, Harlan. "Sir, it would be best if you stay inside. We have everything under control here. We're all fine here. How are you?"
You sounded pretty concerned about your meat parts. We just wanted to make sure that everything's okay.
"Oh,
Some
that
of us have
wasn't-
things to do.
Sorry, ma'am, that wasn't me. That was Limmy over here." And Liz, yeah, that's all you get out of Limmy. And as you get out into this space, I assume you all just completely disregard them.
Yes.
And you see across the rail's been torn up. And across the rail, there is a tunnel that has been dug perpendicular to the train tracks. Literally, if the train hadn't stopped, it would have gone off the rail. And you would have been stuck probably for a much longer period of time. Now it's just a matter of fixing the rail, presumably, but the gnomes do not seem up for the task. And the sort of head deep gnome says, "We already sent out word to a repair team. They should be here momentarily. We were luckily very close to the train station, so it should not be very long now before they're able to repair the track here, and we will be on our way, I promise. Please avail yourself of some complimentary earplugs, as we will be on the train for some time."
I got a question for you.
Yes.
What are you gonna do if the creature that made this hole comes back?
You just hear Limmy in the back. "No, it's all right. We'll and then so the third one, who's been near the tunnel hole, like looking in. "Well, I don't know. I don't hear anything. It just said maybe we'll be fine." And the head gnome, "There is no reason to be alarmed. Please return to your seats and avail yourself of our complimentary earplugs, as we will be on the train for an extended period of time." No, but Doozy, they got like swords and stuff. Maybe they can help. Do you guys have swords and stuff?
Well, I don't, but I do have a shovel.
I also have the ability to make shift to earth and to repair
Do you have a
things.
Oh, well, it's a bit unorthodox to wait for the, not wait for the repair team, but seeing as there may be extenuating circumstances, maybe we, maybe yous can help.
We'll see what we can do.
Did you
Very
see
much
which
obliged,
direction?
thank you.
Which of the directions it went in?
Oh no, it was just here when we saw it.
What was it?
Oh, the tunnel. I don't know.
I mean, with you can see by the direction of the dirt that it, came out to that wall and was moving in a thatwardly direction.
Oh, he's very smart, Doozy.
I'm not. Very obstinate.
We've had a
Well,
lot of experience tracking.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, so if users wanna check out what's going on, you could get us. I mean, while we wait for the I don't know. I feel like there's some liability concerns having yous leaving the train and then looking off onto who knows what's it's in the tunnels. You don't come back. That's a very big liability concern for us here at the Metronome.
Well, if we don't come back, you don't have to tell anybody we did it, and therefore, no problem. We promise if we don't come back that we will not sue the Metronome Corporation.
We don't all promise that.
You might have to get that in writings, Doozies. Yeah. Could I get that in writings?
Sure.
Not from me. Oh,
I was almost like Harlan. So it looks like something came out of one of the walls and tore through and went through the other wall. Is that correct?
Correct.
How large is the hole that it made?
About the size of the train hole.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Paru is
great.
at
That.
least gonna pop out to where the rubble. I'm assuming like there's dirt and stuff off, all, like across the track where it was, and it's all like rubble.
Absolutely, and there's like broken pieces of the train track.
She's gonna start casting mold earth to move the rubble out of the way and just try and shift around and then pull out the pieces of the track so they can be put down to be mended if possible, but just gonna at least start moving the earth out of the way as fast as she can.
Great. So yeah, so you shift and the third deep gnome, who you haven't gotten a name for yet, sort of like wanders up to where you're doing. He goes, "Oh, that's real good. You're very good at that.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome." And he's sort of like just watching this just odd fascination at what you're doing.
Yeah, here. Let me show you. Put your foot like this so you can feel the ground underneath you, really stable and solid. And then put your other foot here and just take a deep breath in. And then you think about the fact that you're standing on the ground and the ground is all around us. And if you can kind of get the idea that you are connected to the ground, then your thoughts breathing is important. Be sure to breathe. And then just kind of put your hands out and you think about how it feels when dirt's in your hands and you're moving it, and then just push. Like that. And she's like trying to teach him basically like the somatic components. Like she's never taught anybody like any sort of druid ability or anything like that. She's like, I don't know. If he's fascinated, maybe it'll work. So she's just kind of like,
Maybe
do this and you-
enthusiasm is 10% of the problem.
Haru.
So some of you may notice this little deep gnome just holding his breath and trying to remember to breathe or exhale.
Paru's gonna like gently flick a couple of pebbles like with her other hand, like so he doesn't get discouraged. Like,
I did it.
you did it! Oh my gosh!
Doozy, I'm an earthbender.
I love him.
this little
Oh,
deep
I know.
gnome.
I love him. Oh my
Oh, I
god.
miss
it
Abigail.
off. Knock it off, Batty. Stop it. Oh, fine. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's very cool.
Oh.
And he like grins. He's got like these gnomes have like really big teeth, like they're like little blocky teeth. It's cute. It's more cute than disturbing. It's just in my head. And he sort of like scratches his head and the little lamp shimmies as he like readjusts the little strap on his head, and he's like, I'm not being paid for learning cool magic stuff, so I gotta get back to work. But thank you.
You're welcome. No problem. Just when you practice, just remember to feel the connection, and you'll be able to do it more.
And to not hold my breath.
Don't hold your breath. The second you start breathing, it's when everything flows, just like the energy of the earth through you.
I feel so connected.
That's the trick.
And and you hear Doozy, the head engineer. Batty, come on.
Bye, Patty.
Sorry.
I'm Paru.
And he kind of Batty. Hi.
Bye. So she'll keep going back to it.
So you're moving Earth to get rid of some of the
Debris and
dirt
stuff.
that's to kind of smooth out the space. What are the rest of you doing while Paru is having this little earth bending session?
I'm examining the hole and what's left behind. I'm looking for
Sure.
any, possibly pieces of the creature or anything that I can use to help us figure out what it might be.
Yeah, absolutely.
My hunting abilities.
So, give me a perception check as you're looking around trying to gather clues.
Oh.
It's a much better roll than when I used the D&D Beyond dice roller. That's a 20.
20. Okay. So basically, you look around and you're following the path of the trail, and there's like little indents, very very equidistant, little on either side of this little path. These little tiny rounded rectangles. And good job, Kyle. And you see them almost like little prints in the sand or in the dirt here. And you follow them to the edge of the hole that's been dug, and you see these like sort of scrape marks all along the edge of the tunnel opening. And you're looking around, you see, like I said, everything looks very there's a repetition to it that is very almost mechanical, not like something was clawing, but like a machine was plowing through almost. And then when you think that with the claw marks, you look back at the little tracks in the ground, and you're like, wait, those are treads.
You guys, I don't think this thing that came through here was entirely natural.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, if you look at the space in here on these indents that it left behind, nature has some things that line up really well like that, but nothing's perfect like this. This is like perfectly lined up like one of the machines around here. It's not like, a centipede or a spider where their legs are, similarly spaced on their body, but they're not perfect. But, look at this spacing.
Right.
So maybe someone built something that tunneled through here instead of a creature? Although I don't know why they would.
You tellin' me's we've got some competition in the marketplace now? Doozy kind of grumbles over.
Well, it's not necessarily competition. They didn't exactly transport people the same way you guys did, on a.
Yeah, not the same way they went perpendiculars. And he looks down the
Well,
tunnel.
You know, what I'm trying to get at is it might have been more of another person's mechanical sabotage instead of a creature.
That does not eliminate my theories about the competitions.
True. That's true.
We could
We'll have to see.
go down the tunnel and see what's down there.
Do you want to go down
Yep.
in there?
Well, yeah.
While the majority of this has been going on, I'm trying to mull over anything I can recall from any stories that I've been told that might help us figure out what's going on in the situation, which is my narrative way of saying I'm going to roll my story dice.
Okay. That's
Just
fine.
as a heads up.
No, sure. I mean, honestly, you try to think of the actual scenario of what's going on, but what'd you roll?
I rolled a 10.
Okay. And what story would
Okay.
that be?
There's something about a dragon that's tickling the back of my memory, but I don't know exactly yet which story I'm pulling.
Sure. The three deep gnomes are mostly trying to help Paru clear the way a bit for the repair team that's going to come in. But Doozy has caught on to your thinking, Beza, and is kind of paying more attention to the tunnel. Well, if you just wanted to go down there and see what's what, it'd be very appreciated, in a kind of non-legally binding sort of way that does not leave us with any liability as to your well-being should the worst arise.
All right. You got any lights
Kind of looks up.
that we could take with us?
Lemmy, where's the rest of the headlights? Oh, they're over here, boss. I got him. And Lemmy wanders over, and you see Lemmy's got a huge for him, backpack on his back, and he just turns around and kind of goes, and just leans back a little bit, and the backpack hits the ground. So he's basically just letting it stand for him, while Doozy opens it and he starts like rummaging through a bunch of junk in his backpack, and he pulls out. How many do you need? So you got one for you, gives one to Beza, one for you, gives one to Harland. You need something, you need one dollface. And he leads one to you, Oliet.
What is it? Sorry, my internet was wonky for a
It's a
second. What is it?
headband with a candle attached to it.
I am absolutely not touching that. Thank you very much.
Okay, suit yourselves.
Do you guys need me with you, or am I more used to moving the earth?
Well, the rebuilding group, the construction team, they've got plenty of stuff that'll move a lot of dirt in a short amount of time. So if you want to, go with your friends, that'd be, one less variable to have to explain to them when they show up.
Got it. All right. Good luck.
Thank you. You as well. Hopefully you have a good, successful time, and you return back and continue patroning the metronome system. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoyed your trip.
Yes. Really quickly, how far are we from the stop here?
Well, it's about maybe like 2 minutes out from the train, but the train moves away, so probably a 20-minute walk or so.
Okay. Good to know. Thanks.
No problem.
Now, is that 20 minutes back to the station, or is that 20 minutes to the next stop?
To the next stop.
Oh, perfect.
So, if the inevitable happens and the train leaves without yous, you could just walk. At your own risk, of course. There is no there's no assuming of any liability on the part of the metronomes or their organization LLC TMCR.
Of course.
Okay.
All right.
And Doozy sort of just turns around and is like, "Let me get up," and he kind of like side kicks the side of the backpack, and he's like, "Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I fell asleep a little. It's comfy." And he gets up, tries to hold the backpack.
Paru's gonna go ahead and turn on her spores for her
Sure.
her lights.
And so, like, little dots of dust, what look like dust, around you start glowing in this sort of halo of what did you would you say what color it was? Or can you control the color?
I think I can control the color, but it's usually purple.
I'm happy to say you do. So this little purple light fills the tunnel, as you all head inside.
Excellent.
So as Beza had, of course, hold on. As Beza had observed, there do seem to be these very regimented mechanical scrapes along the tunnel space. As if almost you kind of visualize a big cylinder with teeth kind of shape that has gone through the tunnel.
I don't like that description, Angela. Big cylinder with teeth doesn't make me happy.
What, you don't like soup can with fangs? You don't like that description?
I like that because it's charming.
Yeah. It's got little angry googly eyes on it.
Oh no. It's gonna be cream of mushroom.
Oh no!
Oh my god. That's it.
Kyle,
I'm going back to the hot elf on the
no!
train. I'm done. I'm done with all of you. I'm going back to see the hot elf on the train.
Maybe he can teach me how to read that, whatever that language that was. So, don't tell Paru I cooked with chicken and cream of mushroom today. So
All right, just for the record, Tessa thinks mushrooms are tasty as all hell, so I enjoy a good mushroom.
So you all start heading down this tunnel system, and you're following these weird sort of markings along the tunnel, and you're walking for a few minutes until you start hearing this kind of whirring noise, and a couple of like sort of like exhaust backup, and you start smelling in the tunnel this sort of like gasoline scent. It's kind of a little smoggy in the tunnel as you go. It gets a little stronger as the noise gets louder, and eventually you realize that the way through the tunnel is being blocked, and you see this sort of whirring gear, sort of like that kind of jerking motion in front of you. It almost looks like a door to a vault. It's round. It takes up the whole tunnel space, and it's blocking your way through the tunnel. But it's clearly where the sound is coming from, and there is an exhaust pipe in the back. A couple of them sort of spewing smoke and such.
I'm really glad right now that I don't have to breathe.
That's true, Beza. You don't have this problem. I mean, you can smell things, but you can choose to hold your breath, so that helps. Or choose to not breathe.
Hello?
It's really loud. You might have to shout louder or...
Hello? I didn't want to yell into my microphone.
No, that was very... Thank you for your... for resisting the urge. And you hear a bunch of clink, clank, sort of sounds like someone messing with a bunch of machinery inside, and there's a loud creaking noise, and the back of this tube or whatever this is pops open, and there's more smoke that kind of comes out. You see this dull red light inside, and peeking around the corner is a goblin. He's very dressed in sort of an engineer's garb, but different than the deep gnomes. It seems like it's like striped, this sort of striped overalls, and big giant goggles over his face with like 3 layers of lenses, so his eyeballs are huge, and
I already love him.
has this kind of like kind of a Rosie the Riveter bandana up, holding his hair up, and they kind of look at you with these big bug eyes, shouting over the sound of the engine, like, "Can I help you?"
Did you mean to run over the tracks of the metronome? What are you doing?
What?
Turn it off!
What?
Oliette is like, my wings are fluttering, and I'm sitting like knees crossed, kind of like in this invisible chair, just drinking the rest of my margarita. All this is going on.
That's fair. That's a fair reaction. And so Paru and this goblin go back and forth for another couple of rounds of, what? Turn it off. What? Turn it off. In the buff. Rude. What? I said rude. There's a bit of that. Maybe I should turn the engine off.
That's what I said!
What?
Cut the engines!
Okay. I don't have those, but okay. And the goblin turns around, and you hear this sort of like sort of very upsetting noise, and everything goes a little quiet. The ground stops vibrating with the movement of this engine, and you hear with big clomping steel-toed boot steps this little goblin engineer, and they stick their head out again. Sorry, that was very loud. I apologize.
Totally okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Oh, did you mean to drive that over the metronome tracks? Was that purposeful or accidental?
Oh, is that what that noise was? Oh my.
Yeah.
Oh, and he hops down and looks around the machine, kind of like what little space there is between the machine and the outside of the tunnel. Oh yes, I see. I do have a little bit of rail down there. Oh my. I did not mean to do that. I must have miscalculated my depth measurements.
What
Did you
are
think
you doing?
Under it?
What was your question, Beza?
Did you think you were going under it?
Well, that was the intention, yes. I'm testing my girl here. And he pats big giant work gloves. He just boom, boom. It's a new mode of personal transportation that is proprietary, and then he realizes what he said, and he's like slowly is closing the door. It's proprietary, you understand? Yes.
We don't want your personal mode of transportation. It's okay.
We might.
Oh, her name is something I wasn't expected to be asked that today.
You did a her.
I know. I should have been more careful. Lindy.
Oh, well, it just so happens that my name is Holland. My sister calls me Lundy. So we're like
That is a very uninteresting coincidence.
Just loud slurp on my marg.
Thank you for sharing. Small world.
So
It's me.
how I am imagining that the folk at the metronome are going to be pretty upset if they find out that that Lindy here has ruined the rails, and has caused them to go off schedule. How do we think we can best avoid this?
Allow me to continue leaving.
I love her.
If we... Would it be easier to go back the way you came and to do the proper depth, or would you just... Where are you trying to get to?
Oh, anywhere in particular, under the wall.
Is that where we're going?
Really?
You're traveling, like, between the chronograms, so you technically go under the wall, but
The space between.
you're kind of already sort of in... You're probably already in the... Because you're so close to the station, you're probably in the limits of Chronicle 7.
What is your goal beyond the wall? Just to see what's out there?
To go, yes, to see.
Well,
I
that
don't-
sounds mighty appealing.
I don't know, guys. I'm kind of down to let them go.
I mean, what's stopping us from, like, okay, I don't want to be like that tiefling, but what do we get for not turning you in?
The sense of pride that comes from an act of altruism?
Oh, you're
Money?
wrong representative. Oh, money. Okay, I'm very, very much more interested in that.
A known tunnel outside of the chronograms to where there are no people that don't like anything out of the ordinary. If we leave this tunnel here, we know how to access it. If you make it out, it's a safe tunnel where you can make it outside the wall as well.
Well, maybe if Lindy had successfully gone underground, yes, but now
Oh, she
The trained
successfully
people
went
wanna know.
underground. I just mismeasured how far underground.
right.
Out of curiosity, just based off of the map that Harland has, is he even headed in the right direction to leave the Chronicle and get out from under the wall?
I mean, you don't have a... give me a survival check to get oriented. You're underground. It's kind of an odd...
May I assist? I am used to being underground.
Sure. You sort of talk it out with Beza as you work.
What does an assist do again? It's been a long time.
What is what?
What does an assist do again?
It gives you advantage.
That's a 16.
Okay. So yeah, as you talk with Paru, you get sort of reoriented. Okay, based on the map that Harland had, it seems that they're heading in a reasonable direction to get out, or to get to the edge of the Chronicler's boundaries.
I mean, maybe the combination of money and knowledge of how to get outside of the chronograms are a good combo. What do you think, Oliette? I mean, I'm inclined just to let you go as is, but she's harder to convince than I am. I'm Paru, by the way. What's your name?
I'm retrieving the name. I have it. I was so proud of it, and I've totally misplaced it. My name is Professor von Hammerford-Schmidt.
Professor von Hammerford-Schmidt.
Yes,
So your first name's Professor?
we are not on a first-name basis. I have only just met you, and you threatened to turn me into the authorities.
I didn't threaten you. I'm
You
just
strongly
curious.
implied it with leverage of some sort of payment.
I mean, a girl's gotta get
Technically,
paid.
I can respect that.
I am Paru Masruma. It's nice to meet you.
Asa Tanto.
I didn't realize any of you had last names. Yes, yes, very, very good. And you, Miss?
I'm Elaine. Nice to meet you.
Oh my god.
Fucking dead.
I
Please
do
this
not
every fucking time.
I do not dispute your name.
Very,
Neither
very
do I.
good. Very good to meet you. Yes. And
This
Harlan.
tall drink of water is Harland.
Hello.
Or
You
Lundy.
very. Yes, the Lundy.
Mm-hmm.
And so the professor nods to you. Well, am I to be on my way then? Kind of
Personally,
tapping their foot. They use any pronouns, so you're fine.
I think it's I personally
Just
I think
tapping
it's a
their foot.
great idea.
To let me go? Yes, I agree.
Von Hammerford Schmidt.
Bit of a mouthful. I apologize.
A little bit.
I was born with it.
You know, we do our best.
Mhm.
So, how long have you been working on this tunnel system, and how far have you gotten?
Well, this is my first fully fledged run to the wall, but I have clocked in, Lindy has clocked in a substantial amount of hours and mileage in the long term. I've probably traversed underground approximately 1,000 miles over the course of the last several years of testing. And this in and of itself has been a very successful run up until this interruption. And I suppose the run-in with the rail, but I was not aware of it when it happened.
Okay. Are you working on this project alone?
Why do you need to ask that question?
Why do you
That's
not want to
enough.
answer it?
Project privilege.
Hmm.
If
Can
you-
I try to assess what that's about?
Sure. Sure, go ahead. Give me an insight check.
I don't trust it. Oh, my insight's not that amazing. We'll do our
Come
best.
on, roll good anyway.
Oh, that's not bad. 17.
17. You get the sense from this professor that you watch as she kind of like glances between you all, like counting you. You get the sense that maybe she just feels a little outnumbered and is trying to obfuscate the fact that she's by herself right now.
Got it. Okay.
It's like there are dozens of us, baker's dozens.
Yeah.
if we were to follow the tunnel that you left behind, would it lead us to the mushroom farms? Or do you hail from a
just
different...
just a little off of them, I believe. I tried to avoid them. I've had a run-in before, and it was unfortunate. And then, but we're all fine now. I just I try to keep my distance so I don't disrupt their activities.
Oh, I understand. I usually try to avoid them myself. But thousands of miles, you say? That's fascinating. Is it... Are you
Mostly in circles, but eventually we were able to do a full distance, and that is currently what I am endeavoring to resolve.
Well, I would be fascinated to know if you managed to make it outside the walls.
Oh, as would I.
Villain, I would say that it's, in my personal opinion, though I will go along with the group, of course, that we let the professor go on their business, as having, with the caveat that we are able to walk the tunnels that have been created. And if you do make it outside the walls, Professor, that you let us know so we too can venture beyond the chronicles? Would that be an acceptable offer?
Sort of a sort of one of the gigantic magnified eyes kind of narrows, thinking, would it be possible as a counteroffer that you help to safeguard the tunnel that exists currently?
In what way?
Well, I would very much not like to be followed by the authorities.
Well, okay, so the only way I can think of doing that is closing the tunnel a bit, which means you'd have to reopen it.
Well, I'll be recalibrating my direction. The depth measurement will be improved on the way back.
Then I have no issue with it. I can basically create a closure right behind you as you leave. We can say that we ventured the length of the tunnel. We could not find any source of this tunnel. We believe that the problem is gone. And we have access to these tunnels that run thousands of miles underneath the island and then a potential way out of the...
Oh, well, eventually they will run thousands of miles.
Oh, I thought you
when
said...
I said thousands of miles, it was mostly in a circle.
Now,
Oh.
hold on, Haro. I have to disagree with you there. Now, any time that we would find a gopher on the ranch, that would be a dead gopher. We'd have to.
Are you referring to me as a gopher, or of my my life's work as some sort of pest rodent to be exterminated?
I'm saying that the owners, the metronome folk might think of you as such. Yeah. So I'm thinking that we can. How do we argue that we that we killed you?
You
Let
want
the
us...
door slowly close a little bit more.
You want us to say we exterminated the pest, but let the good professor on their way?
Yeah. Yeah. How do we manufacture a worthwhile lie?
A ruse, as it were.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm not good at lying, so it shouldn't be me. But
I am also not good at lying. Villain, what about you?
we could tell them that I was wrong and that it was actually a creature and it dug deeper and we couldn't chase after it. I mean,
Oh, I am uncertain that any sort of lie would be, or deception would actually be required. One moment, and Professor von Hammerford-Schmidt wanders back into the tunnel or into the machine, and sort of you hear beep boop beep. You hear like beep boop noises, and it's a lot like grinding of gears and stuff, and you hear a and von Hammerford-Schmidt comes back with a piece of paper that has apparently been printed on some dot matrix shit, my depth measurements were incorrect for the purposes of travel, but there is actually a decent there, and she shows you the paper, and it looks like a little scan, and there are actually a number of quite substantial creatures slightly underneath us right now that you could potentially just kill one of those and then just say that's the thing that made the tunnel. Then no lie is required. You did exterminate a pest that could have potentially endangered the train.
So you're posing that we not only that we dig ourselves out of this particular hole by digging a new hole and then poking a critter that ain't done us any wrong?
This honestly sounds like a lot of work.
Well, it is an option, but you know. And von Hammerschmidt just crushes the paper. You could just lie. That is an option.
That's usually the most fun option.
Well, then if you, Oliet and Harland, are comfortable being the voice
Who is
of our...
Oliet?
Sorry, that is Tessa's.
Oh,
It's Valane's last name.
I
Sometimes
see.
sometimes they
In
go by the
same
last
way
name.
Understood.
yes.
Well, it is nice to meet you, Valane Oliet.
Sorry.
I have expected when Paro was like, "Are you good at lying?" I was going to be like, "Oh, I'm great. I'm a dirty liar."
So, can you just tell us what these things look like so that if they do ask questions, we have some idea, but not actually have to dig down and fight these like dirt things, whatever it is?
Sure. Let me consult my my
Perspective.
bestiary. And she starts flipping through a book that she has in her pocket, and she pulls out what looks to be a drawing of a. It looks like a mole if a mole crossed with a cactus.
Sure.
One of these could certainly dig the hole that is evidenced here. You could justify that, especially if one was not a any sort of specialist in biology, in animal biology.
And worse comes, and if even better, if the train has departed by the time we get back, we close up the hole, and then no one is the wiser either way, and we don't have to lie to anybody. But we have a plan of attack, and we know that if we follow the track, we get to the mushroom farms, roughly. So, yeah, and then we don't have to worry about any other trains trying to trample us.
Well, this seems mutually beneficial. May I be on my way to continue my test run?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'd like to know if you make it out, because I would love to explore outside of the Chronicers.
Money, please.
Oh, I don't have the soundboard up, but I do have the "She's the worst." She's the worst.
Did you literally just go money, please? Because I love you.
Yeah.
Money, please.
I love you. But I'm poor.
I do not have any sort of monetary property on my person at the moment. But what I do have is essentially an IOU. You may come find me and demand the money at a later date when I have returned from my trip. Is that acceptable? Please,
Do I believe
please
that
be
this is
acceptable.
legit?
Can roll my other insight.
Only a 10.
The professor's hard to read, but has not given. I mean, it's hard to tell when she's being sarcastic or not. But I mean, if you could probably press them for some sort of guarantee. If you're really struggling for coin.
No, I just like stuff.
Oh, you like stuff. I could provide stuff.
What kind of stuff?
Oh, you find all sorts of strange things when you're tunneling through. Lindy here has a bit of a filtration system for anything that is left. I mean, you must wonder where all the dirt goes.
I didn't, actually. Not once.
That's a new one.
Well, let me peruse what I've found. And
Oh my god,
you
I'm
can
so afraid.
No, for the professor, sort of like gestures for you to follow into the machine, into Lindy. You just hear sort of clanking, as she disappears into the sort of very submarine-esque device.
We all live in the Lindy submarine. The Lindy submarine.
Yep, pretty much.
It's a gremlin.
Let me see here. As she's going through everything, you see her pull out a bunch of rocks, which are sort of par for the course. But then retrieving like a little bag, like a little muslin bag, pulls out a bunch of like objects are covered in dirt and grime, and some of them have like sort of lichen on them.
Let's digitate them away, just like
Probably. And you see let me see, I'm pulling these up. So you find on so there's a bit that looks like it's like a roll, a very like it looks almost like duct tape, but it's this black fabric, and across it there's these glowing golden runes etched on the outside of it. Well, there's some of this, and I found this, and it's a little like covered in dirt, but you see a little shine to it, a little like almost like a little golden shine to it, shaped like a little figurine, kind of looks like a frog. And let's see,
Paru just starts petting Button, just like this. As they're talking.
Oh, Button.
There's a couple more rocks, but these rocks actually have little etched runes on them. And you also see a where is it? An odd little bottle that has a bunch of little colors on it, and like a string with a bunch of random junk sort of tied to it. There's like a bone and a fishing hook and like a ring and a leaf and a bug kind of all tied on this string, but it's all attached to what looks like a little potion bottle with like swirling colors inside it. So there's a potion.
I mean, it's pretty cool, I
a
guess.
bug, a roll of duct tape, and
the stones with runes on them.
and the rune stones.
Fine, I guess.
Acceptable trade then.
Fair.
For your silence.
Yeah, this is a one-time deal. If we run into you again, I would just advise you to have a little bit of something in your pocket. It's never a bad idea, especially if you're not paying super close attention to what you're doing.
like jerky or some sort of whey bread that you find yourself out here. You
I mean, I do have a sandwich. Would my lunch be a
Yes.
better choice of...
No.
lunch, no. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Look at me. Do I look like I eat sandwiches? Come on. No.
I saw you at the party. Not.
So you get these items, and the professor hands them to it, like basically just hands you the bag, and it's also covered in dirt. And well, if you would all kindly extricate yourselves from Lindy, I can continue on my way, and you can continue on yours. It's been a mutually interactive experience.
Yes, Thank you, Professor. Wish best of luck in your journeys.
Thank you very much, and to you as well. If you are perhaps in need of any services of an inventorial nature, please feel free to look me up.
Will do. Thank you.
Nice to meet you.
Get out now, please. Thank you.
Now, I do have a question. One question before we leave. I have wanted to figure out how to toast a sandwich from the inside. I just can't figure it out. But if you can solve that, Stumper, I would be most appreciative.
Why do you not simply toast the bread before you make the sandwich?
No, toast the inside of the sandwich. Like you have a beautiful loaf of bread, and you don't want to mar the outside of it by slicing into it. You want to toast the inside of the bread before you.
Toast a very large piece of bread and then cut it in half. So you have soft bread on either side.
I ain't never thought about putting the toast to the inside of the sandwich. She's legit, folks. She's legit. She can figure it out.
Excellent.
Oh, Harlan.
Your friend has my card. I only give one out per group encountered.
That's fine. Go get out of your hair now.
Thank you.
Sorry, Button is trying to get into all of the contraptions and wires, so Paru must extricate her.
That's fine. And Professor Hammerford Schmidt, I didn't describe fully, has sort of very light green skin, along with the Rosie the Riveter bandana. And you are ushered out of the machine, and the door is slowly closed, and the tunnel fills with the smell of gasoline and the whirring of the machine, and Elliot, your wings start blowing a little bit again, and you just hear it starts like kind of pushing forward slowly. Paru, well, I know it's not here, but Paru shows you all the card, and it says Professor Markel von Hammerford Schmidt, and I have the spelling of that.
Thank you.
You're
Says the scribe.
welcome. Oh no, you're welcome. I'm very proud of my ridiculous name. That's one of those where you know I've had that in my back pocket for a while because I made it up a while ago.
Oh yes, one of them 7 Markel Schmitz.
Yes. Von Hammerford Schmidt. Markel von Hammerford Schmidt.
So the plan is we go back and collapse the tunnel and tell them that this cactus mole was the culprit, and then get back on the train?
If the train's there. Otherwise, we just collapse the tunnel and continue down the tunnel that was made by the professor to my town, and then we don't even have to walk down the tracks.
Is there a way up from there? They only said that it passed near the mushroom farms. They never said there's an exit anywhere near there.
Point.
Okay, so we just walk down the tracks. Whatever. It's fine.
How often do the trains come? If this train is on its way, how long do we have before another one comes barreling down this very narrow tunnel?
You can't know for certain, though you do know that the trains run like maybe every 20 minutes or so.
That's exactly how long of a walk we had from there.
Mm-hmm.
Might be safer. I don't know. Well,
Let's just start by going back to the train and even see if they're still there.
good point.
I mean, if they're there, I guess we could just go back to the train and talk to that elf.
Exactly.
Seems like a smart guy.
And if they're not there, we can always just excavate some of the wall of the tunnel again. Paru, you and I can take care of that. No.
Exactly.
Fair. Okay.
All right, let us.
I'm just gonna use. Well, I'm just gonna shake the dirt, I guess, off of this bag that the professor handed over, and just throw it in my bag for now, till we have time to
Sure.
look at these items.
So yeah, so you head back towards the tunnel, or towards the entrance of the tunnel where you came in, and you start hearing sort of mechanical noises. And when you different than the professor's mechanical noises, Lindy seems a little more slapdash than what you're hearing. As you get a little closer and you can see a little bit to the tunnel, you see you see the shine of like brass and metal as you see a grouping of shape with an eyeball, and you see a little rectangle sort of shape with two eyeballs, and you see a couple more of those that seem to be modrons and duodrons, from you would assume the Mechanist Authority. They're rebuilding the train track. They're kind of slowly hammering things together. You see sort of like an arm swing with a stake in it, and another one just goes, and they just keep doing that sort of like very mechanical motions of rebuilding what was destroyed of the train track. And you see a couple of Doozy and Batty sort of standing around. You can't really do anything while they're working. You're maybe like 30 feet out, maybe 40. It was a straight shot down the tunnel.
We didn't ask what those cactus mole things can do, did we? Besides be cactuses and moles.
Well,
The professor did say that it seemed reasonable so
they were
can
just
at least tunnel.
burrowing
what you
into
know.
them. So Paru's gonna go back a little bit ways and just kind of collapse the walls in to make it look like, whatever it was, it's gone. So
Sure.
and then come back.
Yeah, so you you do like behind you? You like collapse the tunnel behind you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then yeah. You move some dirt, and there's just a bit of it's a little nerve-wracking as you do that, because there's a little loose dirt kind of falling.
Yeah.
You feel like you've done a pretty decent job of collapsing the space. Maybe you pat it down a little bit.
Okay. And then walk back to join the rest of the group.
So yeah, you see Doozy Doozy notices you. Oh, you came back. You're alive. That's great. No liability concerns there. Kind of glancing over at the monodrones and the duodrones.
I am absolutely keeping my mouth shut and letting Oliet and Harland do the talking. I'm just nodding yes or no in acknowledgement, because that I can at least do without lying.
Yep, same.
Sure. Scratching the top of his head, Doozy glances down the tunnel. Did you find somethings?
It's all taken care of.
Okay. You all look pretty good. He seems to know your stuff.
As they walk in the park.
You ended up in a park?
No.
No. It's a saying.
Oh, one of them's idioms.
I beg your pardon.
Yep.
You beat me to it. God damn it. It's fine. So the thing that made the tunnels not gonna be bothering the tunnels anymore.
No.
Great. Good stuff. And Batty is nearby. What was it? Did you have to fight? Did you have to like move dirt on it?
I did have to move some dirt.
Yes.
Wow. Batty, leave them alone. They clearly had quite the ordeal.
It's all
don't know, they
about the
guess, like,
interconnectivity.
Very, very thoughtfully listening to you, Paro. Well, you're welcome to go back on the train. We'll be starting in a few minutes. Oh, God, it's gonna take forever to get back into back into schedule. Oh. But yeah, please avail yourselves of the wonderful amenities of the metronome system, including a complimentary set of earbuds for your trouble.
I mean, is there any problem if we just decide to walk since you guys are working on the track? Is that a problem or?
Well, that is highly irregular and outside of the expected usage of the tunnels. The tunnels are exclusively meant for the traversing of metronome trains. Loose articles and people are a hazard on the railway. We cannot guarantee the safety of such things, so we cannot allow. No.
Okay, no
You
worries.
can't walk up to the train station.
Okay.
I will lean over to Paru and remind you that we might want to collapse the dirt on the other side as well in case they want to investigate the tracks that were left behind.
Okay. Let me just make sure that there's no other sign of any other of these creatures coming this way, and then we'll get right on the train.
Oh, that's very smart. Good jobs. Yeah. Go ahead and do that.
Oliette has a fan club and has donated to Spin the Wheel.
What? We have a wheel of causality, and it's on Oliette.
Let me know when you're pulling up the wheel so I can switch to the correct overlay.
I am ready to spin the wheel.
Alrighty, we are in the wheel.
Dun dun dun. All right.
Spin away.
Away we go.
Spinning, spinning, spinning. You won mouse pad?
What?
Don't.
Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Oh, hold on. No, hold on.
It's something.
It's the wrong wheel. It's the
Okay.
wrong wheel.
I was like, that
No,
doesn't
it's
look
fine.
like the right wheel.
It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Got it.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, I was like, I don't see it on the thing.
Yeah, don't worry.
No,
don't.
it's the wrong. It's the wrong one. Hold on.
Yeah, you won mouse pad. I was like, I don't understand.
I was like,
Joliet won a mouse pad. It's fine.
I've already got dirt rocks. I've had it. I'm done. I'm done with today's loot.
Dirt rocks is the best.
Button needed to eat. So
Button did need to eat.
Oh, that's what happened. All right, hold on. I had the wrong.
That looks better.
Theme up. There we go.
That looks
Okay.
That looks more
Are you
correct.
ready to? Are we ready to spin the wheel for real?
Spin that
Yes.
wheel.
Okay. Spinning the wheel of causality. Turn, turn, turn.
Tell us the
Didn't know
lesson
the
that we
metronomes ran the worm. Ran the wheel.
Rip Van Winkle.
Oh no.
What?
Oh
Okay.
no. I don't know it.
No, it's great. It's great.
What?
It's fine. It's great. So,
What?
let me roll something really quick.
I don't like that.
Okay.
None of them are permanent, just remember.
None of them are permanent. So, you all feel a weird that weird sort of gut
Oh God! Right in front of the
discomfort.
right in front of the moderns.
And there's just sort of a, I mean, specifically you, Oliette, you're like, maybe drinking a margarita underground wasn't the best idea. Oh, that old story. I mean, man, you probably have plenty of stories about making that mistake. And so you feel it, and this sort of boom, kind of ripple fills the room or the tunnel space, and you get like kind of goosebumps on your skin, and then everything's fine. Oliette, you look, that's fine. You kind of look, you're like, okay, did anything change? Okay, it's good.
Just making sure I'm not in like Beza's body or something.
Right, you're in your own body, and you look down at your hands, and there's there's a few lines on your hands you didn't notice before. Like maybe you need to moisturize a little bit more.
Oh my god, this is my nightmare. Oh yeah, it's
Just
just
a
a
few.
nightmare.
just a few, but it's upsetting.
Oh my god, I immediately pull my mirror out and look at my face.
Yeah. There's a. It's not. How to describe it? It's like, you know, going from your 20s to your 30s. There's like.
Oh, so an existential crisis.
Yes. So you are.
I felt that in my soul.
So no, there's. You look and there's maybe like a little less shine to your skin, just a little. And I mean, for the most part, you look like you though. It's just there's a couple of like. There's a little tiny bit of crow's feet, just a little bit.
Okay, it's fine. It's okay.
It's fine. It's totally fine.
Do you eat it? E?
Okay. It's fine. Maybe I should lay off the margaritas. I knew we shouldn't have left that book.
that is a big jump from no margaritas to I want to go home.
That's what was keeping me young. I immediately feel more tired and confused as to why my life isn't the way that it was, just as every 20-something crossing into their 30s feels.
Mood.
Why haven't I made it yet? It's like, oh man, Valine, I should have locked that down while I had the
Should have locked it down.
Wow.
Okay, anyway.
Someone who is approaching her 40s rapidly. Ouch. Is all I'm gonna say is just ouch. Thanks.
Oh, I'm comfortably on my way there.
Yeah.
There we go. So yeah, that's nobody else feels any different. And you all don't notice any of this. This is very subtle, and this is mostly Oliette knowing that something has changed.
So Paru walks down the other side and just collapses the tunnel a little bit.
So yeah, you collapse it down. The Modrons continue working on the rail all the livelong day, and do you head back onto the train and wait?
I kind of want to get
So-
moving, but
So
it sounds like we all want to get on the train, so we do.
I understand you want to keep going, Paru, but I really don't like the idea of being squished by the train.
That's fair.
Just let it kill us. What's even the point anymore?
my margarita's gone. I have wrinkles.
I don't understand.
Are you all right, Oliette?
Look at my face! Hello?
It's pretty. I don't
Very
know what I'm
normal.
looking at.
It's a
Understand.
nice face.
You're never gonna age? Oh, it's so unfair. Oh my God.
I just like, much like moving from your 20s to your 30s, anything that has aged in you, only you notice.
Right, exactly.
So you all hop back on the train, meander your way back. Do you stay? Well, actually, do you go back to the car you were in, or you just stay with the first car you're in? There's plenty of space in all the cars. I mean, I know Oliette's answer, but maybe with the crow's feet, she's doubting herself a little bit. Her abilities to pull.
Either that or he's going to find you more attractive now.
Hey, maybe he's
Thinking
into
like maybe I can play this off like I got older and wiser in the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Life experiences.
I just experienced so much. It's like living abroad for a year, and you're like, oh my God, I learned so much.
Can't handle it. Oh dear lord. Anyway, so what do? Do you stay, or do you
Harlan leads the way
move
back
on
to the
to?
other car.
Okay, so you head back to the other car, and you start making your way through, and people are just like bored. Somebody busted out some cards. The kobolds are all still seated in their seatbelts, in their shared seatbelts, and you can tell that there's like some sniping going on. Like two of them are like,
Oh.
and you see the little flag on a stick go whap. And so the little tour guide kobold was yelling at them for causing a ruckus, and you see the sort of lavender skinned elf man still. He got a lot further along in his book. Seems like a big chunk of it is now turned, and he's got his sort of I can't describe him much beyond the skin tone. I'm gonna borrow another phrase from my private game. He's kind of got a sweater daddy vibe.
Nice. I will say
Whatever the fantasy equivalent of that would be.
I will say
Yeah.
the fact that I am cutting some lavender and wine soaked cheese as you were describing his skin tone made me
Ooh.
really uncomfortable as I was like, oh, it's purple, like his skin. Oh, okay, yeah, I don't want to eat the cheese.
You're welcome. And so he's just sort of sitting in his chair, with like one leg propped up and his book on his knee, and he's just kind of reading through it, kind of flipping. And there are, who else did I say? Yeah, you're welcome, Mouse. And then there's a few more people there. They're just kind of bored out of their minds. And you do see when you come back in, you see a couple. The two dwarven women see you all come back, and one of them's like, "Dearies, did you see? Did they have any information? Are we going to be heading, continuing on our way?"
Pretty soon. The repair crews are hard at work, and they said in a couple of minutes we should be moving forward.
Sorry. Did I get for looking at chat?
Me too, Mouse. Or me too, Chris. It was the same color in chat, so I thought Mouse said it again. I was like, wait, no, that's Chris.
Yeah,
Sorry.
the dwarf, the woman, so the two dwarves, one of them has sort of like orangey red hair, freckles. The other woman has sort of light brown skin, and her hair is salt and pepper. And the woman with the salt and pepper hair is the one who talked to you, and she's like, "Oh, well, that's a relief. It's very unusual for any of them to be running this late."
I agree. It's very strange indeed. It seems to have been some sort of miscalculation. That is.
That sounds terribly mysterious and concerning.
Just a roosting animal of some sort that wasn't paying attention to where it was going.
Oh well, I hope no one's been hurt, and if you said they're repairing things, I suppose we'll just sit tight then.
We should be on the way.
Great.
And Paro nods and
She
starts.
just sort of, yeah, she sits next to her wife, and you all head back to your seats. The kobolds.
So
Just kind
when the kobolds are looking, Harlan is gonna like just start doing small sleight of hand stuff,
Okay.
just to like press the digitate, like palming stuff and making like small objects like appear and disappear and whatnot. And just trying to like look like he's doing it for them.
Sure. Casually, just like, yeah, this is for me. This isn't for you.
Cash, yeah.
Yeah.
Super
You
cash.
make a
cash.
little like a wooden nickel appear, and you just kind of like flip it, and then you change it into, I don't know, like a teacup. Like just small little hand magic. And two of the kobold, they seem some of the younger ones. You can't really tell because they're all pretty small, but two of them, one of them stood up in their seatbelt. The seatbelt does not protect them in any way, shape, or form. It just stands up and turns around and just starts watching you. This little blue kobold just kind of like, oh my god, with its snout kind of over the seat.
love him.
Oh, Paro's gonna make little light purple spores kind of like appear around Parlin, just like little, almost like little mini tiny fireflies, accentuating the magic just to keep them entertained.
Uh-huh. And so yeah, you entertain the little kobolds. It's another like
It's like a
5.
cute baby on the bus that keeps staring at you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
My husband attracts them like fucking mosquitoes. They always stare at him. And I'm like, I think it's because you don't have hair. Like he has a shaved head, so I'm like, maybe you just look like a baby. Maybe they just think
Oh
you're
my
one of
God.
them, and they're like, maybe you speak our language. But
Amazing.
so yeah, if you're just kind of entertaining the kobold the tour group. For lack of a better description for them, because they clearly
On
look
a
like a tour
field
group.
trip.
Yeah, and you all sort of occasionally catch the eye of the other passengers. Only at I'm sure you're concerned about the well-being of the elven man.
I've been watching him read, and I'm
Mhm.
now time for him to get through a page. Kind of trying to assess when he gets to the end of it.
Sure, it's. I mean, you think back to your times, because of course you've timed yourself.
Love.
It's getting there. It's pretty fast.
Pretty
It's
quick.
impressive.
I want to wait till I'm going to give it a few page turns, and then
Sure.
as he reaches the end of one of his pages, I'm going to summon my mage hand and have it go turn the page for him.
Shit.
You cheeky bitch. I love you.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So you wait and do a little like sort of murmur under your breath, and there's what color is the mage hand? Do you care?
I want it to match the color of my hair. I want it
Okay.
to be
Sure,
very
sure,
obvious who sent this gift.
It's got nails and everything. Yeah.
Beautiful. Perfectly manicured.
So
Blue hair.
so yeah, as this the elven man reaches for the next he's got his sort of hand on the page ready to turn it, and this manicured hand just sort of pinky out, just sort of gently turns the page, and he looks up at the hand, kind of studies it for a moment, and then glances
It just does
out of the
the
corner of his eye.
this.
Yeah. Glances out of the corner of his eye at you. And he smirks, and he goes back to his book. You do note as he sort of and this is because I forgot to add the detail. You do note that he's got pretty long ears. Tips of his ears sort of look like they've been dipped in gold.
Hot.
Like actually, like that's not the color of his skin. It looks like there's maybe an affectation going on, that maybe they're caps, or maybe they're just he dipped his ears in gold. It's hard to tell. And he for the rest of the train to the station, you two are kind of like glancing at each other.
Oh, the best.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm a MILF. Thank God, I still got it. Oh, jeez.
Small consolation. And so the train starts moving again. You hear as the metronome starts again, and you hear, "Thank you for your patience. We appreciate your patronage of metronome stations. The station chronicle service. Thank you." And it turns off. And I'm not calling out any particular. Anyway, so so you it is another, what was it? We said like 2 minutes.
2 minutes,
maybe?
yeah.
A minute or two. Obviously it's way more precise than that. The clock starts again. It paused the moment the train stopped, and it continues. You all start like gliding on the tracks again. Just dark tunnel on either side of the windows. There's only small windows here on the train. It's like you don't really have much to look out, since you're underground 95% of the time on this train. And eventually you hear sort of that sort of slow descent in speed, and then as the brakes activate, and the doors open quickly, and people stand. Everybody stands. I think at minimum, people want to stretch their legs a little bit. Several of the people who stand up leave the station. And let's see, the kobolds leave the train. There's a bunch of them. They all kind of shove each other out because you only have like 30 seconds to get out of the train. The elf man gets up casually, closes his book, puts it under his arm, and starts leaving as well. The two dwarven women stay on the train, and pretty much everybody else on this car stays. And so you all shuffle out because, and 30 seconds pass on the big clock on the station, the identical to every other station in the metronome system, and the doors shut and the train starts moving. There is, you look to the clock, and the clock is still running at its normal interval, but you suspect that there's probably going to be some delays on the train today, which I'm sure will be of note for years to come. The day the train stopped, it's very disruptive to all the grand plans. Horror story, tell their children, make sure you go to school on time, or else
The trains will be
ends.
late, yes. The world ends if you miss the train.
Same difference. Same difference. So yeah, you arrive at this identical station, and you're in Chronicle 7, which is what the station sign says. What do? Do you climb up to the surface? Do you hang out here and chat for a bit? What do you do?
Paru is anxious.
Where's the elf going?
He is casually stepping up the stairs towards the surface.
So it's this way. If we just go up these stairs, we'll. So Paru starts leading the way. Basically, she's completely oblivious to hot book guy because that level of flirting is something that she is not at all. She's not at all kind of like clued into.
Okay, well, Mushroom Cave? Is that what is that? That's not offensive, is it?
No, it's a farm. So we're heading to the mushroom farms.
Mushroom Farm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is there anything that we should know about your family? Like I should have told you about my family, but before we showed up at my house. Like, this is how we greet each other, or no shoes in the house, that type of thing.
I mean, not really. Not that I can think of anyway. It's been a while since I've been there, but yeah. If people seem to get into your business, it's not personal. They are just, there's not so much boundaries. People just talk about anything and everything. So.
It's only just occurred to me that everything's going to be goblin-sized, isn't it?
No, not everything. But I mean, there's some. I mean, there are a few bugbears that live nearby, and participate in the farming culture. So no, not everything is goblin-sized.
But most things. Most things.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be fine.
I'm sure there will be no
Yes,
problem
you
in
will.
grabbing. We do trade with a variety of people across the island, so most homes have hospitality set up for a variety of sized people. So you should be fine.
Wonderful.
And if you want the more alcoholic of the drinks that there are offered, it is the sticky mud. If you would like the lesser alcoholic options, it is the smush wine.
Smush wine is definitely more drinkable than sticky mud.
Mm-hmm.
In every sense of the word.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll admit it concerns me that you keep calling it sticky mud. but I will take what I can get at this point.
Right. Air D&D. Oh my god, Kyle. Amazing. Right. This way.
So you follow Paru up the stairs, and Chronogram 7 looks very disturbingly similar to Chronogram 5.
It's like an Edward Scissorhands type, like suburbia feel. Where
It's like a
just
pop-up. It's like a pop-up
unsettling.
farm town kind of deal. It looks like they just like it's very Sim City. It's like everything's sort of cut and pasted, or copy pasted rather. And so you see this sort of small farm town sort of vibe. There are a number of buildings near the train station that are a little more in the style of the Reacclimation Center, straight lines, heavy concrete, numeric signage. They seem to be places where some people are checking in and out, maybe punch cards, maybe it's for a sort of commuting work station where people would check in and check out when they're done working. There's a number of shops around. You see a couple of places, Paru, that you recognize. So for the most part, it's an open air. But as Paru leads you a little bit further along the main road, you find there's a slight decline in the elevation, and eventually you are heading towards what you had seen was a fairly large-sized like ridge, almost like a little mountain off to the side, and there's like just this giant alcove carved out of this mountain, and the hill starts descending in, and you find yourselves underground again after a little while. And it's this part of the town seems to literally be built in the shadow of this mountain, and inside it. And it becomes a little less regimented, a little less cookie cutter as you get further along. It seems like this place is probably a little older, and you see that you see a lot of orc descended folk. You see a lot of goblins. You see some bugbears wandering around, a few orcs, half orcs, lots of tusks going around, tusks and teeth. And you find a few shops, and Paru points them out. There's a place that sells these like really pretty little bioluminescent flowers, called Florist Gump. Thank you.
I love it.
And an herbalism shop called Thistle Do Nicely. And a wait for it, Kyle. And a place that Paru regrets to inform you specializes in charbroiled mushrooms called Grillers in the Mist.
Oh my god.
I didn't make these. I found these in a random generator, but they're so
Oh
good.
my god, I love it.
So yeah.
That is very good.
So you and you just traveled around this space, and you're in Chronicle 7 right now, heading where her family lives. And as you head on down, occasionally Alia, you're glancing around. It's like, oh, there's dirt, and everyone's like muddy in their clothes. They're just very comfortable in the filth of nature.
I should have followed that elf.
As you're going around and you're looking around stuff, you catch a little flash of purple, and you do see that he's heading in sort of a similar direction. And once in a while, you do make eye contact with this guy.
Oh my god.
And he seems to be in the space. And that is where we will end our session. and so with the promise of meeting Paru's family and the potential for rebound, uh,
Well,
and we will be
that's the title
here-
of next episode is Rebound.
Oh my god.
Roadside
So-
Rebound? I don't know.
road trip rebound.
There we go.
Oh my god.
Road trip Rebound.
How long
so-
is the Rip Van? How long am I Rip Van
Oh
Winkle?
shit, I forgot to mention, as you got off the train, Oliet, you keep checking every so often, and there's more. You
Oh
look
my
like you're in your
god.
40s. Now everybody does notice that you look like you're in your 40s. But as you meander down, by the end of the late afternoon, as it gets into evening, you just are afraid to look in the mirror, and you look, and you're back to normal.
Jesus.
Every scene for the page.
Oh
God.
my god.
So that had happened earlier on. The tag for that, the tag for that was Jack, I believe, as in the Robin Williams movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
I hate it. I hate it so much. So that is the end of our episode, chapter 11, on the road again.
Woo.
We will be here next week for
Mhm.
chapter 12,
Yes.
which I believe is called Road Trip Rebound for
It
now.
is now, yeah.
Thank you all so much for joining us for Shenanigoons. We had a ton of people hang out newly from our raid. You guys are amazing.
Yay,
Thank you so much.
guys.
We're really grateful for the follows. We hope you continue following every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, for Shenanigoons, the Book of Fables. And on Wednesday nights at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, I run Discover RPG, which is a sort of it's a blank slate for me to just goof off talking about the D&D campaign and professionally. A couple of other side projects that I do with ANVIL and a few other programs that I work on independently. Also, we are currently playing, me and a few of my friends from one of my D&D games, we're currently playing Monster Camp, which is the sequel to Monster Prom, and we're all doing the voices, and we have a random wheel to pick. A new character shows up, we have to decide who's going to voice them. So it's a little like voice acting roulette.
I love
So we have a ton of fun with that. We're going to continue playing it. I would like to put a little special shout out because I was checking our Twitter, and Brightback, so Becca, thank you so much for the picture you drew.
Aw.
I will put it in the chat. Especially for you, Chris. It's really good. And we're gonna retweet it on.
Oh my God,
on our
that's
Twitter. So thank you so
amazing.
much for that. It's
Yeah.
delightful.
That's amazing.
So yeah, Becca, that's really kick-ass. So thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome.
And we'll give you a follow.
That's amazing. Thank you, Brightbacks.
So, as I said, that's the end of our show. I got nothing more for you tonight. But please remember to check out our sponsors. Without them, the show wouldn't continue the way it does. And for you as our viewers, thank you so much. And to our patrons, thank you for supporting us and the network. But please check out our sponsors, Eldritch Foundry, and their amazing fantasy miniature designs. And you can buy and print your own miniatures with them. Die Hard Dice and their absolutely incredible Make Your Table Cry
Yes.
Dire D20 in Battle Worn Copper. And we also have World Anvil, as I said. You can find some information from previous campaigns at the World of Vale, which is our custom setting. I will be adding more of this season of Shenanigoons in there soon. It's just one of those things that takes a little bit of time to put together. But you can find us at. Oh, you already beat me to it, Heather. Never mind. I don't know why I bother. And thank you so much to our players. You all are amazing. I love every second of running this game for you all.
All the crazy.
All right, everybody. So that is the end of our show. We'll see you next week for chapter 12. And have a very safe week. Make good choices. Tell your loved ones you love them. And please, as always, do me a favor and be good to each other. All right. To be continued. Goodbye.
Bye, all.